Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and we got another absolutely fantastic show coming your way today. And this show that we got coming your way today is much needed because things happen in our lives, and we need help and helping resolve how we feel and some of the things and emotions that we experience. So we got an expert on that's going to talk about all of those things. But I can't even get started unless I bring my absolutely wonderful co-host on and executive producer Michelle Cooley. How you doing?
I'm doing good, doing good. I love the way you introduced me.
I
But
tell
you
you.
know what?
Mhm.
This is going to be a very, we've had this guest on the show multiple times, and wow, she has so much knowledge and just her profession. And we're excited to have her back. And she's going to be discussing a very important topic.
Yeah, so I tell you, I'm looking forward to this topic. We're talking about grief, and Michelle going to introduce the full title of the show when we lock in the radio and we lock everybody in at the same time. So I tell you, we got to get ready to lock
You're on Answer
everything
Any.
in.
It's Your Life is sponsored by James J.C. Cooley.
Doctor James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show with your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and we got a serious topic that we're going to talk about today because it affects all of us at one time or another, sometimes many times. And sometimes when this affects us, we have to reach out for help to help us resolve the issues and concerns that we have. So I'm not going to take away Michelle Thunder, but I tell you, whichever platform that you're watching this on, whether you're watching this on E36 TV or over 6 to 8 live, other streaming platforms, including YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, welcome to the show. If you want to be part of the show, all you have to do is just go to the platform that you're watching us on. Go to the comments, send a question that you might have, or pick up that phone and dial 1-888-344-1170 again. That's 1-888-344-1170. Michelle, I'm excited about this topic because we had a tragedy in our life about 5 weeks ago,
Hmm.
and it's a challenge. It's a challenge, and sometimes you just can't do it by yourself.
No, most definitely. I mean, we all have had experiences with this particular topic. Everybody, doesn't it could be a family, friend, it could just be an acquaintance that touched your life. But interested in having this guest and kind of break it down, and we're excited to have her back on the show.
Michelle, can you please introduce the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely wonderful guest?
Oh, most definitely. So, the title of today's show is called Bridges Beyond Grief. And we're having a sit down discussion with Paula Shaw. She's a life transitions expert, grief specialist, keynote speaker, and author. She's going to talk about the definition of what really is grief and what causes it. And is death only the cause of grief? And can you overcome grief and get back to normal? So, again, Paula Shaw, life transitions coach, grief specialist. She's also a best-selling author, keynote speaker, and media host on her own show, Change It Up Radio with Paula Shaw. For more than 25 years, Paula has been dedicating to helping people navigate the stress of change and challenge using mind-body tools and techniques. She's a founding member of the Association for Comprehensive Energy Psychology. She strongly believes that the tools and methods of this field can shortcut meaningful change and help people get their lives on track and moving in the desired direction more quickly than with traditional methods. She's just launching an all-inclusive coaching program, Bridges Beyond Grief, which is a customized approach that walks each individual through the challenges of loss and change into a vibrant, satisfying life of purpose and joy. Please welcome back to the show, Paula Shaw.
Hi guys, good to see
Hi,
you. It's so good
hi,
to see you.
hi, Paula.
Hello. I'm happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here because you're right. This is a topic that touches every life at one point or another. No matter whether we want it or not, welcome it or not, it's coming. So it's good to be prepared. It's good to understand it. It's good to have some idea of what to do when it strikes your life.
Well, Paula, I've been knowing you for years, actually. You gave me my first opportunity in radio, television, podcast, and so I know you well. You know me well, and you know that I can't fake nothing. When it's there, and so it's important that others understand the what is a grief counselor all about, and how they go about uh, dealing with certain uh, grief. And I know Michelle mentioned it's only death, but I believe grief comes in all different type of ways other
Yeah.
than death. Uh,
Yes.
as you know, unfortunately, Michelle and I lost our daughter about 5 weeks ago, and it's tough, and I can't even fake it. I can't even,
Mm,
if I'm not feeling a certain way, I'm not feeling a certain way. But
that's right.
that's why we have experts around like you to help us deal with it and
Mm,
help us understand why we are feeling a certain way, and just help us deal with it, because I believe it too will pass. But it just
mm.
takes time. But Paul, I want to start out. Can you tell our audience and viewers a little bit more about you? If they haven't seen you before on the show, you've been on many, many times. Can you tell them a little bit more about you? What were you born and raised? What makes you happy? What makes you click? And why you're so passionate about helping others?
Oh, thank you. Wow, lovely opportunity. I actually was born in New York City in Manhattan in my grandmother's apartment with a doula long before that was kind of an in vogue thing to do. It was probably more for financial reasons at that point. But anyway, I had an in home birth. Um, as I always say, oh no, I probably shouldn't say this, but I say it in jest. They got me out of New York before I developed the accent, and I talked about dogs and post offices and that sort of thing. I never did get the New York accent. They brought me to California at 3, and I have been here ever since, in Southern California, actually, first in the LA area, then Orange County, and now I live in San Diego. So I've pretty much covered all of Southern California. I was many things before I went into this work. I was a school teacher initially. Then I decided I needed a more exciting life. So I traveled with my brother around the United States and ended up working in sales and marketing at a resort in Sun Valley. And then I got an opportunity to be in the movie business, first as an actor and then as a location manager. And I did that for 10 years. And then I married and had children. And somewhere along the way, I met, well, how did that work first? Let's see. I know. I married a man who I did not know at the time, but was an alcoholic. And bless his heart, he did go into recovery. And that opened my journey to the world of counseling, of addiction, of helping people change their lives. And somewhere along the way, in all my years of Al Anon and all of the work I did and my course of studies, I got the idea that the reason people were drinking and using too often was because of unreconciled loss and pain that had never been healed. They were just trying to ease their pain, they were medicating themselves. And so I decided that what would be the most important thing for me would be to study grief and loss and how to help people deal with that. And that really is how my career as what is now a life transition coach began, because I realized that we humans have a love affair with the familiar. Even if it's not so great, we like the comfort of what we know. And when we have to deal with change, then remember, whenever something changes, something else is lost, it's left behind. And so loss and change walk hand in hand. And change is happening all the time, right? Whether we want it or not, change is happening sometimes every day. And so I started working with people from that perspective. At first, addicts and alcoholics, and trying to heal the underlying grief and loss issues, which sure enough were there, either from childhood, from a bad relationship, from things that happened in their adult lives. There was always loss. There was always this desire to escape the pain. And that's why they were drinking and using. And so that opened up this whole world to me, JC, that I feel is really why I came to the planet, to help people deal with loss and life transitions.
Wow. Was there any particular incident that happened in your life where you decided that this is what I want to do? I want to be a grief counselor or life transitional expert. Or was it just something that just came to you? We got 2 minutes before the break.
Well, you know what? I had been already doing some counseling, mostly with addicts and alcoholics. And then, but something was spinning in my brain. And then I met a man named John James, who had established the Grief Recovery Institute in Beverly Hills. And it was just one of those divine synchronicities. We started talking at a conference. And in fact, when he first met me, he looked at me and said, "Do I know you?" And I don't know why I said this. I said, "No, but I think I'm going to be working for you." It was like it just came to me that there was this other avenue I needed to take. And that really was the turning point, JC. That's when I shifted from looking at addiction as the sole issue and looking at grief and loss as the underlying cause. That was the turning point.
It's always a turning point somewhere where we understand that this is what we are supposed to do. I'll tell you what, Paul, we're going to take a station break.
Sure.
We're going to take a station break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to pick up this topic a little bit more. And I'll tell you what, if you're out there watching us 6 to 8 different platforms live, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform, ask any questions that you might have in the comments, or pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome it. Dr. James JC Cooley. That's right.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Cooley Show. It's your life.
Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. We got my very, 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 very good friend Paula Shaw here, and we're talking about bridges beyond grief. And I tell you, it's a challenge. It's a challenge every day. Understanding that grief is real, and many who have never experienced that, oh my God, I hope you don't. But there's so many challenges involved in that, and sometimes I can only speak for myself. It causes you to reset your mindset in order to deal with one day less other days to come. Because the days are going to come as long as you allow them to come. And one of the things, the audience and our viewers out there, I tell you, it's an endorsement, but I love Paula Shaw. She is one of the best in everything that she do. You know, from giving, Rotary, a lot of different things, but also most importantly, I believe, in helping people come back and not go to the dark side, because grief can easily take you there. And we're going to get into this during this segment. And I'm going to start it off, and I'm going to turn it over to Michelle. You know, so Paul, my question to you before I turn it over to Michelle is, why did you title the show Bridges Beyond Grief? Can you tell our viewers and our listeners your philosophy behind that? And what points, I know it's a lot of them, that you want them to take from this?
Wow. Great question, JC. You know, and I want to say, first of all, I know what you and Michelle have been through, and I think it's the most devastating kind of loss possible to lose a child. You know, it goes against what's natural in the world. They are not supposed to go before we do. We're hardwired to know that, to believe that. And when that gets askew, it's even more difficult and more complicated to deal with the pain. So my heart is with you big time, big time. What I do know after years of doing this, nearly 30 years of doing this work, is that there are many ways, there are many techniques, there are many things that can help people move from this dungeon of agony that you're in the beginning to finding a way to operate in the world again, to finally moving back to not normal, because you'll never be normal in the way you were. But there can be a new normal. And sometimes that new normal is more filled with wisdom, with appreciation of life, with gratitude, with other things you wouldn't expect when you're in the dredges of the dark place that you find yourself in when loss first happens. And so part of what I want to do is bring these methods, bring this wisdom, this knowledge to people so that they can help themselves find their way out of the darkness and back into the light of life.
Wow. So Paula, I mean, I think people normally know what the word grief is, but can you tell us what the clinical definition of what grief really is? People think grief is just losing or someone dying, but
Right.
grief is so much more than that. Can you tell us what grief really is?
Yeah. Grief is the normal, natural response to the loss of anything that is treasured or special or important to you. That might be your health. It might be your job. It might be your home. It might be a certain piece of jewelry. But loss is the underlying factor. Most people do think of grief only in combination with death, because back in the old days, we wore black for a year. We wore black armbands when somebody died, and we knew that person was grieving. And in a way, it was better because it kind of gave a signal to everybody, hey, I'm in a tough spot here. I'm grieving. I'm in pain. And so it was different. We probably got a lot more help. And but now here's a perfect example. There are a lot of animal lovers out there, and those people love their animals like their family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when they lose those animals, so often people who don't understand that experience will say things to them like, well, at least it was just a dog. You can always get another one. Well, that's not really helpful, because that person is in agony over the loss of this being. It may have come in a little furry package with 4 legs, but it was a being they loved.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody tells me tomorrow I have cancer and my time on the earth is done in a month, that's grief, Michelle. That is huge grief. I am grieving the life that I won't get to live, or the dreams that I had that I don't get to have. Anytime we lose something of value or that we cherish or we love, we move into a state called grief.
Mm-hmm.
And that, by the way, has many faces. For some people, grief is sadness. For some people, it's tears and hysteria. For others, it's anxiety and fear. For others, it's sleeplessness, illness, agitation. For others, it can be illness, physical illness. It's different, because how you've been raised, what you've experienced throughout your life, who your parents were, did you or did you not go to church? Do you believe there's anything beyond? All these factors. Who are your friends? What is your lifestyle? All these factors influence how you grieve. There's no one way, and there's no right way, and there's no length of time that is appropriate for every person. It's totally individual.
Definitely. And like I said, grief can come in so many forms, not just a loss of a loved one. You said loss of a job, a loss of a relationship, whether it's boyfriend, girlfriend, marriage, or et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
My question is this, do you believe in your experience being in your doing what you do, that whatever the person is grieving, it kind of brings them to like realization that they have to start anew, they have to move on their new normal, and that may frighten them, or they think that if I don't continue grieving over the loss of a job or the loss of a spouse or et cetera, that didn't mean that to me, to them, it may feel like, oh, maybe they weren't important enough, but that's not the case. You understand what I'm asking, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
And I think what we need to remember is, as I said, it's a very unique and individual experience. And too often people think, in fact, JC said a little while ago, and no criticism, JC, this is a common belief. It just takes time. If I can just grit it out, if I can just get up every day, put one foot in front of the other, I'll be okay after a certain amount of time. The truth is, it isn't about the amount of time that passes. It's about what you do with the time. Are you doing any kind of work to help yourself? Are you talking it out with someone? Are you journaling? Are you meditating? Are you lighting a candle every day in memory of that person? Are you setting up a foundation or now creating something that that person would have loved, whether it's a scrapbook or a piece of artwork or a foundation? You know, it's what you do with the time. Time does not heal all wounds. In fact, time can make it worse if you're not doing any kind of work. If you're just sitting in the darkness every day and thinking about, poor me, why did this happen to me? And you're mad at God and mad at everybody else, that isn't going to help you to recover. It isn't going to help you. That old line, unfortunately, is true, guys. The only way out is through.
Hold that thought, Paul. We got to take a station break.
All right.
But we're going to come back. We're going to pick it up because it's a lot more that we're going to talk about with this magnificent guest. And I tell you, if you're sitting back thinking about some of the things that she's saying, you want to be part of the conversation, become part of the conversation. All you have to do is go to the platform that you're watching us on, go to the comments, ask any questions that you might have, or pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Craving a slice of Chicago right here in Temecula?
The James Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
The J. Dr. J.C. Cooley. It's the J. Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. J.C. Cooley. It's the J. Cooley Show. It's your life.
Because a bigger, better, and more impactful life awaits you. Get the new audio version of his book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, by Dr. James Cooley, on Amazon or wherever books are sold.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. You know, I'll tell you what, sometimes when we're grieving, sometimes it's okay to let your hair down. And I said, let my hair down. It's been down for a long time. But hey, Paula, I want to give a shout out to Stan Graham, a faithful listener, always listening to the show. I think Stan is in Arizona. But Stan, my man, hey, thank you for always tuning in. And one of these days, Stan, you're going to comment. You ain't commenting. I see you every day. And I'm waiting on you to comment one of these days. Ask a question, and, just become part of the show. But Paul, I want to bring it back because I listened to the segment that you and Michelle just had. And I want to start off with, Michelle asked you the question, is grief only death? And and we all know that that's not. But what are the common reasons people not recognize or acknowledge their grief? They want to keep it inside and pretend that nothing is happening on the inside. But when they get by themselves, they are burning up and they are torn apart. And the reason I can say that is I'm one of those people that has not fully acknowledged that I could be grieving, which I know I am. Yeah. But I'm a very private person, and I don't want to share my thoughts with a whole lot of people. Not from the fear of vulnerability or weakness, but in many cases, I believe I can only speak for myself. You have to have the right person or the right counselor or the right in order to open up and receive the help and feedback that you might be desiring. And that's I use the word desire. So can you acknowledge some of the reasons why people are afraid to open up?
That's such a great question, JC. I think there's several things at work here. First of all, there's a ton of misinformation about grief. Remember when we were young, people used to get 3 days off. That still may be the case with some companies. 3 days off if someone in your family died. I don't know anyone who's ever gotten through grief in 3 days. Certainly I haven't. And so one of the things that happens is because people don't talk openly about grief. That's one of the reasons I wrote my book, Saying the Right Thing When You Don't Know What to Say, because people don't show up for the griever. They don't ask the questions or try to comfort because they're so afraid of saying the wrong thing and making the pain worse. So we don't know what to say. And because nobody's talking enough about it, which is one of the reasons why I'm excited to be here. When people don't know what's correct or what's the truth, then they either don't talk about it at all, or they create their own ideas of what's proper, what's appropriate, what's the way to do it. And those ideas are often mistaken. They're often totally wrong. And if they don't match up with what they think they should be doing, then they become shame-filled. They think they're defective. Something's wrong with me. God, the loss was 2 months ago and I still don't want to get up. I still don't want to wash my hair. I still don't want to go out in the world. What's wrong with me? Am I going crazy? Am I just so weak I can't get over this? So we start judging ourselves. We start punishing ourselves and criticizing ourselves until we don't have anything to get up and go out and face the world with. How do we go forward when we're filled with shame?
Paula, how does a person go forward? And grief is handled differently by everybody. You know, I know sometimes, like, I'll give you a perfect example. One of my old colleagues, right? She lost her mother long time ago, and she went back to work too soon, I guess. Maybe she didn't have enough time off, and her boss was asking her for certain things. And she got so frustrated, she started throwing Post-its at him, because, I mean, it's not funny. It's not funny, but she was just like venting. And then they just said, you need to take a couple of weeks off. I mean, it's all the way you handle it. Some people get irritated, overly sensitive, or they're lashing out at the closest person next to them. But how does a person decide, not just the death of a loved one, like I said, a marriage falling apart, a relationship, a loss of a job,
right?
A job you've had for practically all your life, and then they just decide they want to downsize and cut you out, at will employment. How does a person grieve? I mean, how do they get real and honest about what they're really grieving about? Like, they know what happened, but is there like more of a backstory to certain situations of why they're grieving, and you find out in your appearance?
Oh, there certainly can be. But first of all, I want to applaud your friend who was throwing Post-its, because too often people just push the pain down. They try to act normal. They go back to work and they act like everything's okay. That's actually more problematic than throwing Post-its, because they're denying what they're feeling. And one of the ways you do work through grief so that you can go forward is expressing the feelings, expressing the pain, whether you do that in words, in tears, in other behaviors. You've got to feel the emotions and express them. That's how we get them out. We move them up to the voice and out. Emotions are energy in motion. And if you keep that energy inside, guaranteed it's gonna putrefy. It's gonna decay, and it's gonna cause some kind of physical, mental, emotional illness. We need to get it out, but we need to express it appropriately too. We can't go through life throwing Post-its at everybody, but that's a symbol that she had so much here that she needed to erupt. So hopefully before it gets to that point, you have permission to speak about it, to cry your tears, to ask for hugs, to tell your truth to the safe people, by the way, not just anybody, the safe people. that will allow you what you're feeling and not shame you for it, not judge you for it.
I want to add on to that. So many different emotions when you're grieving, regardless of what you're grieving about. You can be angry, especially if you lose, let's say, a spouse. You're angry that the spouse has left you. Why did you leave me? Like, rationally, it doesn't make sense, but this is how you're feeling. So you need to get it out.
Right.
Loss of a job. I've been with this company. This is what they've done to me. Anger, or, I didn't get a chance to, just it could be so many things. Now, whether it's rational or irrational, do you agree that it doesn't matter if it's rational, as long as you get how you feeling out and then maybe deal with it, the emotions with help?
Yeah, I think the help is an important piece because, when it happens to us, even me, even with all my training and all my years of experience, when grief comes into my life, I'm not going to remember all my training. I'm still going to need someone who's safe to help me to walk through the pain and the feelings. So that getting that help is critical. And whether you're getting it from something you found online or someone like me or your mother or your best friend, you need support. We don't heal alone very well, even though sometimes we need the alone time to go inside and work things out and work things through. We need support. This is one of those times when you really need community.
Wow. Hold that thought.
Okay.
We got to pay the bills. We got to take a commercial break. And hey, Paula, let me tell you, bottom of my heart, you're so wonderful. You always come through like you came through today. I needed this. You already knew it. And wow. When I come back, I want to talk to you about a potential series, at least 4 weeks, that I want to have with you if your schedule permits. But for the viewers out there, I know you're taking all of this in. Whichever platform that you're watching us on, join in and become part of the conversation. And I tell you, you can do that just by going to the comments or pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. 1-888-344-1170. It's your life. It's your life. It's your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to.
Let's go. It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James JC Cooley. All right.
In this life you are gonna grow, but there's things in this world that you gotta know. To be the best that you can be, you wanna grow real big into a strong tree. To be who you're created to be, the one who's gonna leave a legacy is you. But you got to have these 4 C's. Create, collaborate, then you commit with confidence. Create, collaborate, then you commit with confidence. It's the 4 C's. Gotta have these, oh yeah.
Check it out. It's Dr. JC Cooley. And
Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be on it, to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection.
Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James J.C. Cooley, available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
Craving a slice of Chicago right here in Temecula wine country? Then dive into legendary Chicago deep dish style pizza at Rosati's Pizza Pub. Piled high with gooey cheese, rich tomato sauce, and your favorite toppings, Rosati's delivers the taste of the Windy City right to your table or front door. Enjoy the cozy pub atmosphere and an impressive selection of Temecula wines. Come on down to Rosati's Pizza Pub for your slice of Chicago right here on Rancho California Road, or order online at myrosatis.com. Rosati's, where Chicago deep dish pizza meets Temecula charm.
Listen up, it's Dr. J.C. Cooley. Yeah.
Hello. Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. I tell you, I know we only got 6 minutes left in the show, but this segment is sponsored by Rosati Pizza Pub of Temecula. I tell you, every time I go home, I cannot wait to go by there. I love the deep dish pizza. Wow. And it's a meat pizza, and it's a lot, but it's delicious. I tell you, if you ever in Temecula, Temecula got 63 wineries. So when you finish all your tour at the winery, you're gonna be hungry. Go by Rosati Pizza Pub. And I tell you what, as Steve and Angie, this is JC sent me here. They might give you a free slice of pizza. I don't know. I'm not going to speak for them, but some of the best tasting pizza in the world, Temecula, Rosati Pizza Pub. Paula, we're down to the last 5 minutes of the show, and I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I want you to think about something. I want you to think, if you get an opportunity, I would love to partner with you for at least 4 weeks on bridging the gap, or bridges beyond grief, because it's so many things that I believe that you can present to our viewers and our listeners. And we can't do it in one show. As you see, we're running out of time right now. But I want you to think about that. And hopefully, we can put something together, have at least a 4-week weekly series. And on me, no choice to you. On me. Yeah. So think about that.
No.
I want to get back. Vulnerability. I'm talking about, we all have those. When it comes down to the renewing of the mind and going through grief and just trying to understand a pathway on how we get out of this. Yeah. How can I feel normal again? That's a question that many won't ask. We only got like 3 minutes in the segment, but can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I wish JC there was a formula, a magic formula, or a template that worked for everybody. But as I was saying in the beginning, grief is a unique experience for each person. It depends on so many factors about your life and about the circumstances of the loss. But one thing I can tell you that's critical is authenticity. You got to allow yourself to really feel what you feel, be who you are, not put on the I'm fine face when you really don't feel that. Find the safe people. Don't go to the parties and act like everything's okay and you're over it, because that just drains your energy more. that just puts more strain on you. So be as authentic as you can. Find the people you can be authentic with. Find that person who says, hey, I'd love to come in and hang with you. And the person you can say, you know what? That'd be great. I'd love to watch a movie with you, but let's don't talk. I don't want to talk about the loss. I don't want to cry. I just want one sort of normal evening. Let's get a pizza at Rosati's, hopefully, and come and sit with me. And then maybe during that time, you do feel something. That's the person that you can talk to about it. But find the people that you're safe with, and then express what you're really feeling. And don't have these grandiose expectations that you're going to be over it in a week or two. Or don't should on yourself. I always say to my clients, don't should on yourself. There's no shoulds. There is no way you should be acting or no thoughts you should be having. Whatever is real for you is real for you. It's okay. It's your grief. Don't let anybody tell you how you should do it. Only your heart.
Paula, we are out of time, but I hope you consider what I just said. And wow, you are incredible. You are a great, great friend. And I know Michelle been reaching out to you for the last 4 weeks, and it was me. It wasn't her that did not return calls, but I'm talking to you now. And I tell you what, can you quickly tell our people how they can get in touch with you? We only got like 12 seconds if they need to enlist your services.
The easiest way is go to paulashaw.com. There's an opportunity there for a complimentary 20-minute consult with me and ways to get in touch with me. paulashaw.com.
Wow, Paul, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show. You got an open invitation. I'd like to thank Michelle Cooley, Dr. Michelle Cooley, for putting together another great show. I'd like to thank my producers back at KCBQ AM 1170 FM 96.1. Most important, I'd like to thank our youth and our young adults and our viewers for always tuning
Tired of living the life of
the James Cooley Show. It's your life. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life when we'll see you then. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.